Alright, hello grade sixes. Today we're going to be looking at the outcome demonstrating understanding of percents limited to whole numbers to 100 concretely, pictorially, and symbolically. So the first thing we're going to do is a little practice thing. So what I want you guys to do is grab a 100 grid or a grid paper with 10 centimeter by 10 centimeter. So you're going to make a design on the grid. Your design must follow these guidelines. The design must use only 4 colors, so the colors are orange, blue, green, and red, alright? So, at least 7 out of 10 of the squares must be colored. So think of that as a percent, right? So 7 out of 10, so 70% have to be colored. At least 4% of the squares must be colored blue, 4%. No more than 8% of the squares can be colored orange. Okay, no more than 8%. And at least 0.5 of the squares must be colored green or red. Okay, and 0.5 represents basically 50%. All right. Describe each color of your design as a fraction, a decimal, and a percent. Don't worry about that part. Okay. What I want you to do is just create a design, okay, based on this criteria as a little practice to this unit. So, you guys should have your design, right? And if you want, you can share it with your classmates. But that was just a little practice to kind of make you convert and also apply the idea of percentages and decimals into our unit, all right? So now we're going to get into the unit. So it says here, fractions and decimals and percents are 3 ways to describe parts of one whole. A fraction can be written as a decimal or a percent, okay? A decimal can be written as a fraction or a percent, and a percent can be written as a fraction or a decimal. So here's our example. Okay, we have a 100 chart, all right, and we have 25 of these colored in, so we have 25 over 100. Okay, well, that can be converted into a percent, which is 25%, or a decimal, which is 0.25. It can also be back into a fraction, which is 25 over 100. You can use percent to describe any part of one whole, and one whole is 100%, okay? So if I had a square, let's say this is a 100 chart, and I colored in this much, and I said it's 20 over 100. Okay, well, the percent would be 20%, and my decimal would be 0.20, right? Let's say I have 15 over 100. Okay, well, the percent is going to be 15%, and my decimal is going to be 0.15. So what you want to do basically is look at what is it over 100, okay? This represents a 0, this is a 0, and this is the line, which makes it a percent, and you just do 15%. And then decimal, okay, an easy way of doing it is your 5 needs to be in the hundredths when with your decimal, okay, and the 1 has to be here. So So the other day we looked at 100 grids, right? Today what we're going to do is look at a fraction here, okay? And I have 3 out of 4 of the shape is shaded, okay? So percent means out of 100. So we need to write an equivalent fraction with hundredths. So I'm going to actually make a cheat sheet for you guys on this video that goes through all the ones that you'll use today. Eventually what you're going to have to do though is find simplified fractions that are going to equal to 100, right? So here, okay, we have 3 over 4. So when you do 3 over 4, what you need to do is you need to find out how many times does how many times does 4 go into 100? Okay, well, 4 goes into 100 25 times. So I'm going to do 4 times 25, and I'm going to get 100 on this bottom part. Then I have to do the same on the top. So 3 times 25 is going to be 75 over 100. So here, 75% is shaded in. Oh, my bad. Because, all right, we have 3 over 4 as our normal one. So what I did was I can redo it over here. 3 times 4, or 3 over 4, I'm going to do 4 times 25. 3 times 25, and I'm going to get 75 over 100. 75 over 100 can be 75% or 0.75. So it says here 75 over 100 is the same as 0.075. 0.075, the shape is shaded, so 75% is shaded. Okay, so this one's a bit trickier, right? Because it doesn't necessarily have something that can multiply to get to 100. Okay, But what we have here is we have what percent of the set of counters are yellow. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 over 12. 12 in total. So 6 over 12. Okay, I'm going to write over here. If I want to make this into an equivalent fraction that is going to multiply to 100, I'm going to go 6 divided by 6, and I'm going to find a common multiple, which is 6. So we're going to get 1 half, okay? 6 over 12 is basically means the same as 1 half, all right? Now what I can do, okay, is I know 1 times or 2 times 50 is 100, so I'm going to do times 50 up top. I'm going to get 50 over 100. Okay, well 50 over 100 is 50%. Okay, it's also 0.5, right? So 1 over 2, or 6 over 12, is equivalent to 50%, okay? 0.5, or 50 over 100. Okay, another way that we can do this is we can go 6 divided by 12 in a calculator, and we're going to get 0.5, okay? Well, 0.5 is 50%, right? So there's a couple ways of doing it. What we want to do is learn how to find what it would be over 100 first, and then we can do the calculator version later when it becomes more challenging. So here, like I said, if 6 out of 12 of the counters are yellow, so it's basically 1 half, so it's 50%. Okay, finally, the last one. Oh, sorry, before we get to that. A fish tank contains rainbow fish and goldfish. The ratio of rainbow fish to goldfish is 1 to 4. What percent of the fish are rainbow fish? So, it gives you the ratio, but basically what we're doing is we need to find a fraction for the fish, right? So we're doing rainbow, so it's going to be 1 out of 5. Okay, 1 out of 5 are rainbow fish, all right? Well, it says here 1 out of 5 equals 0.20. So if I did in a calculator, 1 divided by 5, I'm going to get 0.20, which is 20%. So 20% are rainbow fish. It's one way of doing it, right? We could also do this. 1 over 5, and we got to figure out what's something that multiplies by 5 to get to 100. Well, 5 times 20. So we're going to do 1 times 20. We're going to get 20 over 100, which, if we know percentages, is 20% or 0.2. So here comes this cheat sheet that I was talking about. So on your test, or not test, but your assignment today, you're basically going to have to find out, taking a fraction over one of these numbers mainly, so one of these numbers, and then getting it over 100, right? So what I'm going to do is go through these. So 2 times 50 and 1 times 50. Okay, so we're going to get 50 over 100. Notice how I did times 50. Now you do 4. How many times does 4 go into 100? Well, 25 times. So we're going to get 1 times 25 on the top. We're going to get 25 over 100. Now 5. How many times does 5 go into 100? Well, it's 20. Okay. So we do 1 times 20 up top. You do the same thing up top, just like equivalent fractions. You get 20 over 100. 10. 10 goes into 100 10 times. So you do 1 times 10 up top, and you get 10 over 100. 20, well, we just did it over here, is times 5. So we're going to do times 5 here, and we're going to get 5 over 100. Okay, 25. We're going to go times 4. We're going to get times 4 here, and we're going to get 4 over 100. 50. We're going to do 2 times 50 is 100, so we do times 2 here, and we're going to get 2 over 100. And finally here, it's 1 over 100, which is 1%. So, as you can see, okay, by getting fractions over these numbers, these denominators, okay, we are able to find out equivalent fractions over 100 and then percent. So let's say I did this, 3 over 5. What is that as a percent? Well, I'm going to go 5 times 20, right? I match this one to this one right here. So I'm going to do the same up top, 3 times 20. I'm going to get 60 over 100, which, as we know, is 60%. So let's do a couple practice ones here. So let's say I said 10 over 20. Okay, well, I'm going to do 20 times 5, and I'm going to do 10 times 5. So I'm going to get 50 over 100, which is 50%. Okay, what about 3 over 25? I'm going to go 3 times 25 is 100. Now, 4 times 3 is 12 over 100, so it's 12%. Let's go with 4 over 10. I'm going to go 4 or 10 times 10 is 100, and I always write it over here because I'm converting. So I'm going to do 4 times 10, and I'm going to get 40 over 100, which is 40%. Let's go 1 over 2 times 50 times 50, we're going to get 50 over 100. Let's go to 3 over 4 times 25 times 25. We're going to get 75 over 100, which is 75%. So as you can see, my goal is to always get over 100 on the denominator here, and then get a different numerator by multiplying and finding equivalent fractions, right? Another one we could do is 7 over 20 times 5 here times 5 here. We're going to get 35 over 100, which is 35%. Right? So it's very easy to find out some of these answers based on the fact that we can multiply to get to 100. Okay, so now comes the assignment. So what I did was I have it in here, but it's in your textbooks as well on page 190 and 191, I believe. So don't worry about draw a base 10 block or shade 100 to represent each fraction here. Just write each fraction as a percent and a decimal, all right? So we have all of these examples. I want you to do all of that, okay? This one, don't worry about the draw base 10 blocks as well, okay? Because we just want to convert fraction to percent, all right? And finally here, okay, don't worry about the draw base 10 block, and I want you to do all of those. So you can see it's pretty easy, and it's a review of the other day. So yeah, we're going to do number 2, 3, okay, we're going to keep going. So these ones I'd like you to do, okay, we have 4, and I want A, B, C done, okay. I would like these as well, okay. I would like 8 done, and I would like 10 done. 8 looks at a data table. It might be a bit more challenging, all right. As you can see, these ones you have to convert over 100. Besides this one, I'll give you a hint, it's 100%, all right. And this one's a word problem, and it gives you 2 equations, and you have to figure that out, all right. It seems like a lot, guys, but it's pretty easy, and if you have any questions, let me know. Have a good night.